When I used to be a little girl, I always used to tell people, boast that Liberia was one of the most peaceful nations in the world. Now when I think about Liberia, that's what I wish for Liberia.
I would like to see the country getting a new sense of reconciliation, a new sense of justice for all.
Reconciliation is the only way to healing our troubled past and embracing the culture of peace and denouncing the culture of violence.
I had the strongest conviction that Liberia will come back to where we had imagined for it to be. But whatever happened, I know it was senseless and brutal and painful, and I think we can do better.
The TRC process is the beginning, is a springboard.
I think it's important because it's the first step in the healing process. You have to share what you went through so that the victims can be dignified, and also you have to give perpetrators an opportunity to seek forgiveness.
Well, the TRC mandate calls for the TRC process being a forum, creating an opportunity for both perpetrators and victims and survivors to come together and share their experiences. That doesn't mean it's bygone be bygones.
How can I, honestly, blame this person who was given a gun maybe when he was 5 or 6 years old? How will a person like this go about healing his or herself? That's a perpetrator who could come forward and tell his or her own story. That person ends up being a victim too, even though they might have victimized other people, but they got victimized first.
And don't be scared to give your statement. I give my own statement, and I have to admit, I was apprehensive. I was scared in the beginning. I wasn't scared because I felt I had security concerns, or for me or for my family in Liberia or here, or that I have precarious immigration situation. And I do understand, I do respect people who have that situation, but I was scared to talk about, to relive the memories, to relive the things that happened to me, that happened to my family. It's a scary thought.
I was thinking, I said, who's going to listen to my statement? And what would they think about me? Because already some of my friends who are here didn't believe that what I said happened to me did happen to me.
Well, the first thing I would do is introduce myself, explain that I'm a volunteer with Minnesota Advocates for Human Rights, and then go through the statement-taking process so that the person understands exactly what's going to happen.
It was, pretty much clear once they had introduced themselves and told me what the mission was. And it totally put me at ease.
And then I would explain that statement givers have an option. They can either choose to give a public statement or a non-confidential statement. They can choose a confidential statement, or they could choose an anonymous statement, and those terms mean different things.
I gave my statement, and I told them it was okay to give my name just because I feel that giving a name to the story is important.
But everyone should understand when they're giving their statement that they're not obligated to answer any question that's asked. If they feel uncomfortable answering a question, they can just say that, and the statement taker will not press them any further than what they're willing to tell.
There are many reasons to be scared.
I couldn't really remember everything that I went through until somebody asked me. It's taking me back to the scene.
Emotionally, I think during the process of giving my statement, I became a little bit depressed, just thinking about reliving the events.
And then I would explain to the statement giver that they have the ability to ask for a counselor, a mental health professional who could help them if they are feeling any sort of emotional concerns after having given their statement. It's a really, really difficult process for some people to retell their story because you kind of relive some of what you've been through.
It was a sad time. I went back into that sad time.
After I spoke out for the first time about all of the ordeal that we went through, I was actually depressed for 2 weeks.
I think it can also, for some people, be a very, very a healing experience to be able to sort of have what they experienced and what they've been through become a part of the historical record of the country.
I felt very relieved, and it did make me feel lighter because it was as if I had gotten a burden off of my shoulders.
It was very powerful. It had a healing experience. It was very liberating. It was very liberating because I felt, wow, you know, I just did something noble. I actually talk about my family that can't speak for themselves anymore. I actually talk about my parents' property that were destroyed, that were taken, that, you know, the world needs to know about.
So if you survive, I think it should be your moral bound obligation, at least to speak for them.
This is my opportunity to honor the memory of my relatives that perished in the war, that were killed, that were abused in the war. This is my chance to make my voice heard.
We need to get the message out to people that it requires their voices, their stories.
Give your statement and be a part of this process, because every voice needs to be heard.